Hi, this is Graham Jaycock here. I've found a comparison between two separate things. Pontius Pilate, when he dealt with Jesus Christ, and the situation atheists condemn God. If a person loses his faith, then the atheists get upset. Well, that poor Christian, they say. What happens to him? Now, this is taken from John, this piece of text which is key to my argument. Now, it's from chapter 19 and it starts from 8 and it goes on to about 13. When Pilate heard that, he was more afraid than ever. And going back into his headquarters, he asked Jesus, "Where have you come from?" But Jesus gave him no answer. "Do you refuse to speak to me?" said Pilate. "Surely you know that I have authority to release you, and I have authority to crucify you." "You would have no authority at all over me," Jesus replied, "if it had not been granted you from above. And therefore the deeper guilt lies with the man who handed me over to you." From that moment, Pilate tried hard to release him, but the Jews kept shouting, "If you let this man go, you are no friend to Caesar. Any man who claims to be a king is defying Caesar." Right. The key passage for me is from 12. From that moment, Pilate tried hard to release him. You know, Pilate saw Jesus was doing no wrong and he tried with all his might. But we know what happened with Pilate. Pilate washed his hands, and you can look at the text. You don't need me to quote it. Pilate, despite the text saying, from that moment Pilate tried hard to release him, something in Pilate got triggered and he stopped being good. Now, I want to compare this with the Christian. You see, it's Pilate could, I'm using it as an analogy, if that's the right term. Pilate represents a Christian. A Christian believes in the man Jesus Christ was innocent, but he lost his faith in Jesus because he was persuaded by all the people around him. Well, not all the people, obviously the ones that were shouting against Jesus. Now, this is similar to Christianity. A Christian has faith in Jesus, and people surround this Christian, throw insult and insult and antagonize their belief, and some snap and lose it and lose their faith. Now, my question is to you, the person that questions, the one that criticizes God for saying to a person, well, you're going to reject a Christian for rejecting you. Well, listen up, people. Do you think Pontius Pilate was a good man when he washed his hands of the decision of what to do with Jesus Christ? It's a simple question, it's a simple answer, but it might be a hard answer to get because it conflicts with your conscience and pride. I will say it again. Was Pontius Pilate a good man for washing his hands?